Honorable members, in the last sitting of this House, the Speaker made a ruling that as we debate this bill, we would not deviate. And to date, that ruling has not been followed. I would like to pause as we go to page 28 of the rule book. 20. And it says any reference to a matter awaiting or under adjudication in a court will not be permitted unless the Speaker's discretion that reference will not interfere in any material way with that court matter. All of us in here are quite aware that the FTX matter is under the proceedings of the court, and it's very unparliamentary for us as parliamentarians to obstruct the courts from conducting its business. And I will not allow those things to happen, not under my watch. There is a time, if there are questions to be placed, and it's called under member statements, I would allow members to place questions on the notice for future meetings. And those questions, if they are relevant for us to be able to answer in this place, will be answered on the second Wednesday, which is question time. But until then, we will conduct ourselves very parliamentary, and we will abide by the rules that are governed in this place and other places that make us look like shining parliamentarians as we are. So moving forth, I will allow persons to continue in our debate of the Mental Health Act, but let's deviate from any proceedings that's in the hands of the courts. Are we all clear on that matter?
Madam Speaker, the rule speaks to matters under adjudication. There is no dispute, to my knowledge. There are appointed liquidators, court-appointed liquidators, together with the Securities Commission. There's no pending order. Every order or no pending decision. Every order and decision that they've requested has been made to date, even the most recent indemnity with respect to putting assets in a wallet. But there's nothing pending, so it's not under adjudication. Correct. It's under liquidation. Correct. Not even FTX is disputing this matter, Madam Speaker. Yeah. I'm advising the House. We're here to advise the people. And it is the Speaker's decision. But if you haven't thought of what I'm saying before, it's worth considering now. And I would like, Madam Speaker, to be aware of these facts in this position as well. I'm not insisting or even asking that you change your decision. I'm just stating for the record that so unfair. It's not clear to me that this matter is in fact under adjudication. It's before the court, but that's not what the rule protects. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, and I understand that, honorable member, but without cause, this matter is before the court, and so we will abide by those rules. The chair recognizes the honorable member for Marco City.
Madam Speaker, when you raised this matter in the last sitting, we took the time to get advice on the matter. I believe several members opposite are fully aware that one of the court filings had to do with the bankruptcy issue. There are very, very specific issues, technical issues relative to that dimension of the case. There are a host of things related to the collapse of a major business in the Bahamas that are within bounds that can be discussed or questions can be raised. As long as none of the speakers are getting into the material or the granular matters that could affect any outcome. And I have not heard anything that the member for Kalani was saying or that we said in the previous sitting that falls in the category of affecting the material outcome of any investigation. So, Madam Speaker, we respect We respect the rules of the House. We respect Madam Speaker, but we are not prepared to be silenced on raising questions that do not affect the material outcome of any investigation. So that is something we cannot comply with.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for West Bramham and Bimini.
Madam Speaker, the difficulty is the member for Marco is not an authority on the investigation. And the member is simply passing a view because he's seeking to have favor to allow for the member for Kalani to raise some points that they believe will be political expedient to do so. The reality, Madam Speaker, is this. We don't know. And because we don't know, prevention is better than cure. He started his comments by saying matters filed by the court to do with bankruptcy. The truth is before the court. It is sub judice. And the member for Kalani fully comprehends, and I expect the member for Kalani to accept.
Thank you, honourable member. Honourable members, and I understand where everybody is coming from, but there are rules that govern this place. And we must stay in the parameters of the rules that govern us as a body. And I said that we can raise questions, but there is a place and there's a time on our order of business for questions. I also indicated that we will stay in tune with what we came to debate, and we are debating the Medical Health Act. So is that a problem for members to understand that this chair has made that ruling? I'm not denying anybody from putting questions that they may have on the notices for future meetings. I'm not denying that. I'm allowing.
My member has 6 minutes left, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Very calmly.
Unlike others, I am a law-abiding citizen.
$100 million man.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. And the Parliament is under the leadership of you, the Speaker. And I respect your ruling. But what I would say, Madam Speaker,
I love Kalani.
upon my departure of this Parliament, if the press were outside, I would give my questions to them. I put forth my questions. And in the absence of the press, I will send my questions to the press so that people can see what questions I wanted to ask. But Madam Speaker, I respect the ruling of her Lordship. Madam Speaker, I would like, and it's written clearly in international magazines, as the Minister of Health, written clearly in international magazines, it's done in institutions throughout the world. And I think Jamaica is now embarking on a similar procedure. I would like the Minister of Health to consider, with respect to reducing the mental outcome or mental illnesses that children can suffer, especially those of boarders in the institution, to do allow a 4-6 month period where animals, pets, are introduced into the institution, be it dogs that they can play with, because it's been shown, Madam Speaker, that this decreased the incidence of mental illnesses, especially in our children with boarders, who are boarders in the institution. I'd put that forth for the Minister of Health to consider it, using the international protocol without any problems being introduced to the institution. But Madam Speaker, I have not heard the outcome of the grocers in terms of the price control. And therefore, I'm wondering if the government realized or recognized that they were on the wrong wicket, they were wrong, and rather than answering or carrying any further, they retreated into silence and allowing it to just take its course, because they were wrong. Madam Speaker, with respect to Kalani, I drop my grandson to school every morning. Nowadays, I'm on drop off and pick up. I missed pickup today. I normally pick up at 3 o'clock today. I had to get a substitute to pick up for me. But Madam Speaker, what is distressing? The roundabout from Old Fort Bay going to Lightfoot Key, every morning the voyages are littered with garbage. Candy wrappers, McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky, sodas, etc. And it's becoming very distressing. I'm asking the government if we can enforce the laws with respect to construction workers and whoever are on the back of these trucks and every day littering the community. We can only improve if we enforce the laws, but the government cannot utilize its manpower every day to clean up the voyages throughout this country. We must enforce our laws. And Madam Speaker, last week, I spent a little vacation time, my second residence in South Abaco, and I went to Minister of Works, South Abaco. And while driving the Ernest Dane Highway heading south, Madam Speaker, the street is filled with potholes. And I'm frightened for individuals who do not know the area because there are no lights on that main thoroughfare. And individuals who are not familiar will fall in one of those potholes, injure themselves, and possibly end up as a fatality. I ask the government to kindly repair the road before we have a fatality between now and Christmas. Yeah. Then another thing that bothered me, and the Minister of Agriculture is here. Madam Speaker, a lot of things we can prevent if we catch them early. While visiting Abaco, there are flea markets, food markets throughout the downtown area. It would be nice if we can identify an area within the Abaco community and we can start what you call the Abaco flea market. What y'all call it now? Food market? Yeah. Farmers market. You can have an organized farmers market so that individuals can sell their wares in an organized manner. You'd improve the hygiene, etc. Because if you don't deal with it now, it will continue to spread throughout the community. And eventually, we have shanty towns with homes. We will have food shanty town. So we have to, and that's why I mentioned it. I'm sure he will put an Abaco, what is it? Farmers market, an Abaco farmers market in place so that individuals can sell their products.
You do better with the farmers market than you do with the hotel.
I wonder if the government would report. Last year, the carnival came here, and we got no answer as to how the carnival got here, but the carnival had to leave. And there was a dispute as to who was going to pay for the carnival being immobilized and subsequently returned. They will be coming back here very soon. So we want to know, did the carnival personnel pay for their return from whence they came, or did we use the taxpayers' money when it did not fall in the government's bracket? It was a political thing. And therefore we'd like some answer on that. So, Madam Speaker, with respect to Kalani, great problem is littering and noise pollution. And I would like the member to kindly, we are respecting and showing great appreciation for our women. This is not the time to lay off any woman, especially a time of inflation, single parent, etc. I would provide you the copy of the communication there. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Asmini. The chair recognizes the Honorable Member for Golden Isles.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I rise. I'm thankful, I'm grateful to the people of Golden Isles for affording me this opportunity to represent them, and particularly to speak on their behalf in this House. Madam Speaker, I'm thankful and grateful to Almighty God